I had my daughter, and I'm dealing with this anxiety and then trying to channel it into my yoga practice. And then this opportunity comes up like, oh, I want to be a yoga teacher. I think, what I could offer is really good. Still kind of struggling with this postpartum anxiety, not really understanding that's what it was. And then I got pregnant with my second child. I quit everything. I was like, no, I refuse to go to work. I refuse to even leave his side. As we were waiting to get all the testing done, we didn't know what it was. Like, you need to keep living your life. You need to keep going. And I feel like that moment in my life kind of changed me as a human being and changed me as a teacher, changed me as a mom. Since my early 20s, I think anytime something's out of my control, I'm like, I'm going to die,
Nicole, welcome.
Thank you.
This has been a long time coming.
So excited.
So I had you shortlisted, and I was like, you should ask Nicole. And I was like, I'm going to. She's on the list. It's just there's only so many days and so many hours, and I know your schedule, like mine, is jam packed.
A little bit busy. Yeah.
We kind of snuck this one in on.
We did.
Saturday
We got so
morning.
lucky. Thanks, Mom. Real MVP. Watching the kids.
Watching your kids today.
Yeah, all three of them. Malachi's at work, so yeah.
How old are your kids?
2, 4, and 6. So we're still kind of like in the trenches of that.
Oh.
It's fun. It's getting easier. They're awesome. But I'm a full-time mom, part-time yoga teacher, part-time hairdresser. So
it's busy
season. Yeah, but I wouldn't have it any other way. Thrive in chaos.
So you would have had, when your youngest was born, 3 under 4?
I did. Well, 3, she was about to turn 4. No, sorry, she turned 4, and then my third one was born, and he was a surprise. So we were like, oh my God, how are we going to do this? But you just do.
You find a way.
And actually, for those who are wondering, 3 is easier than 2. 2 feels like 100. 3 is like easy.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what it is. You're just like, oh, whatever. The house is literally on fire. Oh well.
Yeah, I heard the expression, after 2 it gets more difficult, because with 2 you can grab both of them.
Yeah.
And then...
But no, it's not. 3, it's easier. I think because they just play, and I'm just like very... What's the worst that could happen?
Yeah. Your daughter's quite involved in helping, though, right?
Very
As the oldest?
involved is a good way to describe her. She's very involved. She's very helpful. She's a mother hen. Okay. But she's like the sweetest, most loving, compassionate person. I'm so proud to be her mom. She's the best.
I know I've seen some of your content, and it seems like they're always cooking.
Oh, we cook a lot together because I hate playing with kids, like toys, things, like the imagination games. I hate that, but I bring them into my world.
Okay.
So they cook, they do the things with me, they do yoga with me, we play outside, we build, we do a lot of everything together, but I'm probably not going to play Barbies unless I have to,
Do you have Barbies?
We have all the things, but my kids just destroy everything, and they play outside on the trampoline and do flips and play, and we have a little pool. They're like outside kids. They're jungle kids.
Kind of sounds like they're growing up how you and I would have.
Yeah, that's the goal, right? 90s parenting. We're outside a lot. We're very hands-on. We play, they have screens, of course, but they don't use them unless it's downtime. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just I like that, the outside kids. When
you had your third, were you back to work at that time?
Okay. Sorry to cut you off there, Kate.
No, go ahead.
I only talk to kids all day. So was I back to work? So that's kind of a good question. I was a hairdresser for many, many years, full time before I had kids, and I went back part time during my between my first 2 kids, so I could hopefully collect some maternity leave. Mm-hmm. But then I never did go back. So was I? Did you ask if I was back to work?
Yeah, back to
I was
work.
teaching yoga, yes, but back to a full time job, no. Okay. So teaching yoga just a couple classes a week.
Do you sleep much?
No, never. I don't. I sleep more now than I ever have in the past 6 years. My kids they're early risers. They don't sleep through the night. And they're like me. They wake up and they're just ready to rock. 5 o'clock is a good sleep in for them. 5:30, we're well, were they alive?
Okay.
Yeah. So I get up before them because that's the only time you have to yourself.
And
I'm
an hour, 45 minutes.
Creeper. Oh, 45. God, if they hear I'm up, they're like, oh, mom,
it's time. It's time.
Yeah.
I know you were speaking before, but you had some struggles with your middle kid?
Yeah, okay. So first daughter comes around. Being a mom is already a hard enough learning curve, and then when she was a toddler is when COVID hit, so then learning to be a mom during all of that. And that's when I became a yoga teacher. My son, when he was born, he was great. He was born easy baby. When he was around 15 months old, he started having what we now know was seizures. So he lives with epilepsy. He has a seizure disorder. And so just navigating that, having 2 kids under 2, well, I guess at that time now we're 1 and 3, mm-hmm. That was a wild ride.
How did you come about to knowing he had seizures? Like, what was going on?
Okay, so when he was like, probably, I say 15 months was when he had his first big seizure. But when he was around a year, he was having these episodes per se, where he would just like stop in his tracks and just collapse. And I'm like, oh, this is not normal.
Oh.
And then he would be exhausted for hours. And then in my heart, my mama heart, I knew it was probably a seizure. But unless you get it on camera or someone sees it, it's hard to diagnose, right? It had been going on for a few months, like sporadically, no rhyme or reason. I would like track the time, track the temperature outside, all the things, and it was just like random. And then one day we were at the park, it was a really hot day. He looked over at me and the whole right side of his body lifted up and he collapsed. And I was like, okay, that is a seizure. So we went to emerge and then, you go through the rigmarole of testing, which takes some time. So you live in limbo for a while of wondering what is going on. Well, they have to do the tests and yeah, that's kind of when I really threw myself into my yoga too, to be totally honest.
Something to channel yourself into?
Yeah. So I had been, let's circle back to that because it all kind of correlates. I've been practicing yoga for probably since like 2012, 2013 is when I first started. And it wasn't like regular. It was like, oh, I'm going to yoga, You go for the physical practice. And at that time, it was like Bikram yoga was a thing. So you're burning 1,000 calories in 90 minutes and it's really rigid and it's like, it's aggressive. And then I practiced on and off for a couple years and really got into it when I had my daughter. And I was really struggling with postpartum anxiety, like one of those moms who just watched the camera. I never slept ever. I would stay up and watch the camera. And then I would convince myself I was dying when my husband went to work. I'd be like, I'm going to drop dead here. So I had like postpartum anxiety so badly, but I didn't understand. Like it wasn't as common to talk about it back then. And then I found, and then COVID hit, that every time I unrolled my yoga mat, I was able to at least like turn it off for a bit.
To take a breath?
To take a breath and just like be in the moment. And at this time, I wasn't a teacher quite yet. So I'd unroll my mat and, do my thing, whatever. Still just like practicing kind of willy-nilly. And now it's COVID, so you're practicing with YouTube teachers, not like in the studio anymore. And then one day, I don't know if it was like an ad on Facebook or something came up, but it was like, there's a training. It's going to be at the gym I already practiced at with 2 local teachers who are incredible. And I knew at that time I wasn't going to be able to travel to do a training because I had a daughter. It was COVID, whatever. Are we allowed to say that word, COVID, on here?
COVID? Yeah,
that's the thing.
It's something that happened.
Yeah,
you can
the
swear
thing,
too.
right?
This is not safe for work.
Yeah, okay. So then I was like, oh my God, perfect. I think I don't want to go back to work in the salon. And the salon at this point had closed for a while anyway because of COVID. Yeah. So what can I do? So I'm dealing with this anxiety and then trying to channel it into my yoga practice. And then this opportunity comes up like, oh, I want to be a yoga teacher. I think, what I could offer is really good. So anyway, I did the training a few months later, still kind of struggling with this postpartum anxiety, not really understanding that's what it was. And then I got pregnant with my second child. And
during COVID.
Yeah. And then so that was all fine. I actually practiced yoga every single day until he was born. And I taught yoga until I was maybe like 36 weeks pregnant with him. Just a couple classes a week. And I was like loving it, kind of finding my stride. Then the baby then he was born. Everything was great. Luckily with yoga, like if you do it a lot, your body kind of, you recover.
You rebound pretty well?
I think so. Yeah. I was able to recover pretty quick.
Giving birth puts your body through quite a bit.
Oh, yeah.
So if you're healthy and you go through birth or an injury, it just stands a reason that you're going to recover faster.
Oh, 100%. 100%. My first birth, I had to go on bed rest at 28 weeks, which was like the worst thing. As a busy brain, it's like awful.
Like, don't sit still.
No, it was terrible. So yeah, this round was great. Whatever, he was born. And then, I'm still teaching and kind of teaching like, you're the same. We have this busy mind. We jump from part A, part Z, part whatever. You start in the middle, work your way out. So my teaching probably wasn't great. Probably taught some really wild things, probably some inappropriate things. Some just things that might injure people. But you learn, you get better. So then, we're hitting my stride with that. And then boom, the seizures start happening. And, your whole world stops. And if you've ever had a kid or a family member who is sick or whichever, going through something, especially a kid who cannot talk, and now you're their voice, you're their advocate, I quit everything. I was like, no, I refuse to go to work. I refuse to even leave his side. Thankfully, where I work, they're like so kind. They're like, yeah, whatever, do what you got to do.
You got to be big mama bear, right? You
Yeah,
protect your young.
Protect your young. But I just shut down. And as we were waiting to get all the testing done, we didn't know what it was. We thought it could be something much more scary. And epilepsy is still scary. Luckily for us, his is very controlled. But at the time, we don't know. So I stopped practicing, I stopped teaching, I stopped everything. And then after only like maybe 2 weeks, my husband said to me, like, you need to keep living your life. You need to keep going. And I feel like that moment in my life kind of changed me as a human being and changed me as a teacher, changed me as a mom, because literally nothing else mattered anymore. Like besides my kid's health, like when your kid gets sick, you would do anything to take that away. You would remortgage your house. Yeah. Like if someone said, okay, you can take his epilepsy away, but it's going to be $5 million. I'd be like, okay, let's do it.
Where do I sign?
Where do I sign? You need my kidney? Let's just get that done today. You would do anything. So then, I had always taught yoga in a way like, oh, just do this, like have fun with the practice. But because I personally hadn't gone through anything super traumatic yet in my life, I've been so lucky. That's the only way I can put it. So then to go through this, I'm like, oh my God, these people are showing up. And so many of them have been through these things. I'm like, oh, just take a deep breath, whatever. And, you're not really realizing sometimes if you are going through something, that's like the hardest thing is to just sit with yourself. So, right?
I know. Yeah.
You can do the hard movements. You can do 20 chaturangas, whatever. And that's easy. But it's as soon as you're just like, oh my God, I have to be here alone with my thoughts. And how do I stop going to doomsday or whatever, the spiral? And
that way be in here in the now and not have the things that I can't control affect me.
Exactly, right? Exactly. So the things that are so out of your control. So for me, epilepsy has taught me, because it's so random too. Like he's on a medication now that keeps him seizures at bay, but who knows? He might outgrow the dose and then it just starts up again. Yeah. You might take him off his medicine after a certain amount of time and then in 10 years he might get it again. You don't know. But you could also get hit by a bus. You don't know.
Dangerous business walking out your front door.
It is. Yeah. Right. So it's definitely taught me like, okay, you just gotta be happy for the boring days, because those are like the best ones where nothing happens and then you're like, oh, well, what a boring day. But really, like, it's just you're living your life. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Do you think with going through that with your son, you said you didn't have struggle before. Are you better prepared now for other curveballs that come your way?
Oh yeah, nothing phases me. You could do anything and nothing will phase me at all. And maybe but then I got pregnant and that did phase me with my third child. But yeah, after that, like pretty much you just roll with it. Like what's the worst that's going to happen?
Were you pretty young when you had your first?
No, I wasn't. I was 31. I mean, that's not old by any means, but I wasn't in my 20s. I'm 37. I'll be 38 this year. So 31, 33, 35.
I think by today's standards, that probably is on the younger age.
You think? Yeah.
I think so. I've got friends so I'm 39. And they've got like a 2-year-old.
Yeah, I think it's way more common now I'm way better, like in my opinion, because you just know yourself a little bit better.
I would think though that you probably up to that point had gone through struggle with, I know like for myself, I had kids like super young compared to everyone else. I was 26 when my oldest was born, and then 28 when my youngest was born. And I'm not established, like finances are fucking in shambles. I didn't know anything about that. So by going through at a younger age and going through those I'm 31's young. 31 is young. You're better preparing yourself for down the road to kind of tackle those kind of things.
Yeah. But as far as like struggle before that?
Well, I meant like just going through and having kids, and that has its own whole other set of worries and problems. And you have to kind of learn to roll with the punches. You said you went through postpartum. Did you have postpartum with your second kid?
No, I didn't, because I think I knew to look for the signs. And because I had such bad postpartum anxiety with the first, like I ended up in the hospital getting like ultrasounds done on my neck because my obsession was that I was going to have a brain aneurysm and die. Like a very specific thing. Okay. Very specific.
How long did that go on for?
Oh, that obsession?
Yeah.
Like I had kind of had that obsession even before I had kids, and realizing now after talking to like a counselor and all this stuff, it's just I don't really like think of myself as an anxious person, but now I know, okay, there's certain things that make me feel anxious. And then for me, it comes out with health. It's always this one specific thing. So many years since my early 20s, I think anytime something's out of my control, I'm like, I'm going to die, which is ridiculous. So, but the brain does what it does. And so then I knew what to look for. And after working with prenatal counselor, because they're like, we're going to nip all this in the bud. And Kamloops is great for midwives. If you can get on with a midwife, you're like, that's awesome.
We used a midwife for both.
Oh, you did
kids.
too? Okay.
Yeah.
I had doctor for the first one, midwife for the other two. And
shout out to, what is it? Something midwifery? What is it? Oak?
Mighty Oak.
Mighty Oak. Shout out to Mighty Oak.
Midwifery.
Midwifery. No, we had, it wasn't Joanna. Yeah.
There's so many great midwives there.
Oh, it'll come to me. But Joanna did step in for a couple of appointments because ours was, on vacation and then she had a kid as well. And I was so against it before. I'm science-based. I'm a doctor. And then I actually watched a documentary on it. And I just saw all the other levels of support that they give. That's especially in the Canadian medical system. It takes fucking 2 months to get an appointment for anything.
Oh, yeah.
And she'd call her up, text her, going for these appointments. And I was still kind of skeptical and I was coming around to it. And we met with her. It was wild. Going there. I think they've moved since, but there's like the toys out front and it's a very comfortable room.
Yeah.
And they're just, I'm here to make you comfortable. And if anything's going super wrong and the doctor has to step in, like that's going to happen. It's not just me. I'm not just in control, everything. And with our first son, he wasn't moving. So they had to vacuum him.
Oh God.
To get him out and they're reefing on it. But up until that point, it was all her.
Yeah.
She was calling the shots. And then we were really lucky. The doctor that we was there, her name was Alex Adams.
Okay.
Was our doctor in the delivery room at that time, and she was great as well.
Yeah.
And being a young guy, and I'm tough and everything, and then this fucking vacuum on my kid's head, and his head's all misshapen then, and he pulls out, and I'm like, and he's all fucking slimy. And
oh my
God.
God.
And they rush him away. I didn't cut anything, and I'm like, what the fuck's going on? And then he cries, and I'm like, okay.
Oh my gosh, you think you're tough until that happens.
Like you said, you would do anything for your kids, and you would. I would swap. Like if my son had epilepsy, like, can I swap?
Yeah.
Give it to me. You don't want to see them go through pain. And for me, it got to the point though with trying to protect my kids and give them everything that I don't want to say I'm like spoiling them.
But they're not learning.
Yeah. And then my wife, so for everyone that hasn't listened before, I have 2 kids with a previous partner. And then my wife's like, you're doing too much for them. You have to respect the struggle. You can't just give them the answer. But I'm in work and in life, I've always been the problem solver. People come to me like, what do I do for this? Because I think so outside the box. So they have this problem and I can just see the answer. And I'm like, and then with Janelle too. And I'm like, oh, and I'm like trying to help walk them.
And she's like, don't solve it. I just want to talk to you about it.
Yeah, they need to figure it out. Yeah. So then you're missing a learning opportunity for them.
I think it might be a man thing, like sorry to stereotype, but my husband also wants to solve all my problems. Like, this happened, this. He's like, well, you should do this. I'm like, I don't want advice. I just want you to hear me.
Be my sounding board right now.
Be my sounding board. Yeah. If only everybody knew that. Like most people don't want advice. They just want to be heard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was listening to a podcast and it was something about if you want, there was a guy speaking with billionaires and he wanted to learn about them, and it wasn't asking them questions. It was just like, he just repeated back what they were saying, and you show interest in what they're talking about.
Yeah.
If someone's showing that they're interested in, like, don't be interesting, be interested.
Yes.
Be interested in what they are, and then they'll just talk for hours.
I think being a hairdresser before I was a yoga teacher actually really prepared me for that.
Because lots of skills from that.
Well, yeah, but you talk to people all day, so you learn about people, and you learn that people want to talk about themselves. So that's one thing where it kind of translated to yoga. So I am a yoga teacher. That's how we met. That's my passion in life. But I think people like to come to my classes because they feel welcome and they feel seen, and I love that connection with people.
You have that energy about you. You have
thank you.
That is an aura about you, and
that's really nice.
Thank you. Yeah, I've been to
lots of my classes.
So many of her classes, and I've been to other instructors as well. And it's not to harp on any other instructors, but it just didn't click with me.
You find your teacher. There's a teacher for every student, and a student for every teacher. I'm not the teacher for everybody, but the ones who do come,
I actually hated it before I went to your class.
Did you really?
I went a couple times with my wife.
Yeah.
I was like, this isn't for me.
And was it your mind? Is it boring to you? Or was it the movement? Like, what part of it did you not like?
So I did some other flow classes.
Okay.
Actually, the first one I did was, I don't know, is it traditional? It was more
like the
static.
set series. Yeah.
And it was, I'm athletic. I like to move. I like to be challenged. And yes, holding a pose for a long time is challenging, but it wasn't getting, even though it was hot, I wasn't getting the sweat. And then I went to another flow, or a first flow, and it still wasn't. And then I came to your class, and afterwards I was like, Janelle, this is it.
You're like, what did I just go to?
Yeah, this is, it was struggling in the sense where, I mean, I'm not, you know this, I'm not flexible at all.
But you were getting flexible by the end.
I got a lot more mobility for sure. And then I was probably, I don't know, 3 or 4 in, and I think we were talking before, and you said, hey, I know you run and you squat and things are tight, but don't look to the 6-year-old woman who's been practicing for 40 years and her head, she's upside down and she's bent over and she's doing reverse upside dancer or making things up right now. You're probably never going to get to that point, but you need to make yoga your practice. So whatever you can do. And then that really resonated with me.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So then I stopped trying to, what's the one where you got like your heel up and then you're kind of bent to the side? Like
Skandasana.
Yeah. So
like a side lunge.
Yeah. So super, super tight through my groins and in my hamstring. And I can't get into that.
Okay.
And when I stopped trying to get to where everyone else was and then just do what I did, all the frustration went away.
Yay.
And that's when I was finally able to not just be working out, but like
able to come.
Yeah. Like be centered and be in the moment. Whereas before it was like, okay, it's just another rep.
Yeah, you're trying to get to this shape, this elusive shape. And the shape, to me, the shape does not matter. It's not about the shape. Some yoga teachers, they teach towards a peak pose, it's called. So like, say a complex pose that's more difficult, that you need to work, different things, open up. I almost never teach to a peak pose. I teach to a peak sequence. So a series of a few poses linked together. And to me, that's because like this peak pose, this elusive shape, if you will, who cares? But it's about what happens at the beginning of your class and then all the things in between to get to that shape. That's what matters. It's like, okay, if we're talking about the physical body in yoga, it's like we're opening this, we're warming up this, we're doing this shape first and then to open everything. And then maybe if you try the shape, great, like it's something to work towards. But if you never do it, it also does not matter. So yoga is to yoke. That's what it means, to unite. Yeah, to unite.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the body, the mind, the breath, the soul. So as long as you're showing up to your mat and you are practicing or you're moving with intention, awareness to what's going on in the body, you're like, okay, well, today, like this feels good and I'm going to move towards maybe a little bit deeper in this shape or ease up because today this doesn't feel good because yesterday I deadlifted 200 pounds. I don't know how much is a heavy deadlift.
I'm sure that's heavy for you.
I don't know. I don't even know if I've ever lifted that heavy. But like whatever is heavy. But then, the next day your body is sore. Like we do yoga so that we can get from the ground to standing up when we're 90 years old. There's an older gentleman who comes to my class. Like I would say he's close to 80 if he isn't already 80. That guy is the GOAT. He shows up all the time. It's power yoga. And
he's always in the back corner with a mirror, right?
Yeah. I love him. And I'm always telling him before class if there's going to be something tricky. And he always says to me, Nicole, you do what you're going to do and I'm going to do what I'm going to do. And I'm like, perfect.
He's definitely making it his own.
He is making it his own. And that's why like yoga also is like community, right? Like to practice collectively, the energy. It's kind of like, it's such a supportive community to feed off that. And you just like feel like you're part of something. And
I felt that community. I thought it was going to be super cliquey.
But it's not.
And then people are chatting after and they're like, hey, I saw you in there. That was great.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm doing it.
Right. And then they're like proud of you when they see you do something like, oh, Caleb, I saw you do like a forward fold, whatever.
Yeah. I love that you brought up like you do one and then you sort of build on it into that peak pose because I didn't realize that until you were saying that. But one of my favorite ones is lunging lizard.
Okay, yeah.
Is that what it is?
Lizard lunge.
Lizard lunge. That's one of my favorite ones because it opens up.
Yes.
And then I'm thinking back to when I've practiced with you and we're in that pose and then we go to the next one. But then the next time we're in that same lizard lunge, then it's up and over and then it keeps going and then I've opened up and then I'm at that final one. And that's kind of like an analogy for life too, right? You don't jump into your final form. you go forward a little bit and then back and then forward a little bit.
Build.
Yeah, you need all that struggle to open the things up, to learn the skills, and then you can kind of get to that end goal.
Yeah, totally, right? Yoga is such an analogy for life. I feel like everything relates back to yoga.
Were you always good at teaching?
No, I was terrible at the beginning. I was the worst.
Okay.
But I was very confident. For some reason, my whole life, I have like blind confidence. I'm like just, always going to be like, oh, why can't I do that? I did 1 year of university, hated every minute of it. It was so boring. But I'm this like passionate person who just like believes in myself. I don't know why I was talking about university, maybe because like I did 1 year, thought I could go there, get the degree. I'm like, no, not for me. But with the teaching, I started out and I was just like teaching how I practice, and it's, could be really endurance based, really scattery. And I think I scared a lot of people off. And I think I was always trying to be the hardest teacher. Like that was my thing. I don't know why I wanted to be like that. Like, I'm going to be so physically challenging. And maybe at the beginning I was like kind of taking away some of the nuances of yoga. Like there's so much to the yoga practice. The physical is one, then there's all the philosophy, there's all the spiritual stuff, all the, if you will. And it's just almost too much to touch on in a 60-minute class. So you kind of try to drop little wisdom bombs here and there. But then, so I feel like I taught that way for my first year. And then after everything happened with Nikai, I started kind of like trying to teach, like as I became more grounded as a person and a little bit more, I guess, just in the moment, and maybe seeing what's in front of me more than just seeing what's like seeing what's in front of me, meaning my students. And how do I even say this? I just was starting to become a better teacher.
Yeah.
And
getting the reps in.
And you know what? When it comes down to it, that's all it is. It's practice. And also realizing like, you know what? When you're teaching a public class, maybe don't jump into the middle of the class. Like start at the beginning. Yeah. Don't just like throw somebody into a very hard thing at the beginning when they're not warm or ready. And then I was like maybe not being as inclusive as I could be to people who were like, oh, I want to try this thing. I heard it's really fun. And I'm just like, oh, do this hard thing. Oh, you can't do it.
There's a pose and you're like, hey, if you can't do that one, do this version instead. And that was great for me.
Oh, good.
I don't know if that was a new thing that you had just started doing, or maybe I just
trying to be smarter,
didn't notice it. But that's like being more inclusive for
because you got to remember, like the 90% of the people are not gonna do the quote unquote highest, like, and I'm not this gymnast by any means either.
Were you athletic before?
Not really. Like
sports in school?
I played soccer, like just a house team growing up, but I was more there for the social aspect. I got cut off of every else, like basketball team and all that. I wanted to be athletic, but I wasn't really. I was into like piano and like social. I was very social.
Were you a healthy person before you discovered yoga?
Oh no, man! Cactus Jack's was like my my home away from home. I'm sure I worked in the bar and restaurant industry for a long time too. Same like you, like many years. No, before kids, I was having a good time. Not making like great choices. Not super into nutrition or health. I did practice yoga a lot. I would like go to the gym sporadically, but not to be healthy, just because I thought that's what people do. I'm just like, oh, I better go to the gym. And then we'd like drink and party on the weekends, and you know how that goes.
Did the drinking and partying go away once you started having kids?
Yeah. Oh God, yes. Yeah. Like you just can't be hungover parenting. Like
I did it lots, and it sucked.
Yeah, you were young. I think I've only been hungover parenting 2 times in my life, and I'm like, this is the worst. And now I don't even really drink at all. It just like makes me tired, and like my body doesn't feel great.
Feel like shit after.
Yeah, and even during, right? Yeah, so dehydrated. So no, I wasn't super healthy. Well, I wasn't like unhealthy, but I wasn't, being my best self per se.
Do you know what, you might know the answer to this, but I ask anyways. The number one, they did a bunch of studies, but the number one contributing factor to if kids are going to be healthy or not
is their parents, right?
It's even more specific than that.
Oh, okay. I don't know. The mom?
The mom.
Okay.
If mom is active and healthy, because for the study, most families are still that kind of traditional family unit where mom does most of the cooking, mom's raising the kids a little more.
Yes.
And mom's more nurturing usually. So not to say that, men aren't nurturing either, but so if mom is active and healthy, then mom's probably going to focus more on nutrition and healthy meals and that stuff. And if the kids are with mom more and they see mom doing yoga, they see mom going for a hike, the kids are probably coming. I've seen some of your videos and there's your youngest and you're doing downward dog and then he's doing downward dog. And so he sees this growing up. Those are the things that you can't teach, but you can kind of ingrain.
That's what I think too. So like, maybe at the beginning when I first threw myself into yoga, when I had my daughter, I would like feel guilty about leaving to go to a class or taking time for myself. And then I was like, fuck this shit. Like I deserve this. And also now what I think is they see me taking time for myself, which is like, a very broken practice, like, but doing my best to get this time in. And they're like, oh, well, we deserve that too. Like when they grow up, I hope that they think to themselves like, well, we deserve this time to take care of our bodies, to, recenter ourselves. That way you can come back like the best version of yourself. Because you can like be a martyr and, I don't deserve, like, I'm not going to do. And then what? You're pouring from an empty cup?
And then it just kind of gets worse and worse. It compounds.
Yeah.
If you're not doing anything for yourself, and even if it's, you have 30 minutes and it's meditation, you read a book and it's just that kind of mental, physical reset. And then you're better for yourself. So then you can be
better for them. More regulated.
Yeah. You need to be selfish sometimes so that you are able to then be selfless.
Yes.
So you need to, kid's sick, but I'm in a bad state right now. I haven't been able to practice for a week because I was sick before. Yeah. I need that hour. You go teach that hour. You're not thinking about your daughter. You're in there. You're centering yourself. You're breathing. And then you get home and your cups, your energy, you have so much to then give back. So you have to be selfish sometimes so that you can later be selfless.
Oh, I love that. I love that. And it is so true. You come back as a better parent, better person.
How has yoga helped you with being a parent then?
Oh, so much. I feel like it helps everything. Like you're able to regulate yourself a little bit more. Of course, I still fly off the handle. I've got 3 kids who won't put their shoes on to get out the door. But like
the worst. It's
the person you are from 8:20 to 8:25 before school. That is not a good reflection.
We used to do it. It'd be like, we got to get out the door by quarter after when we lived out in West Side to get to Westmount. But it would be 7:20. Okay, shoes are on. And then all of a sudden, we look over my youngest and he's taking his clothes off and he's has pants on his head. And we're like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, got to put your shoes on. And yada, yada. Years later, we've now learned that he wasn't fucking around, but his main form of communication is through humor.
Okay.
So he was just expressing himself.
Yeah, it's like, I'm so funny.
Anyways, it still took him an hour to get his shoes on.
Always. But yeah, anyway, the yoga, like, you're definitely able to just kind of, just take a breath. And like you're just more regulated, I feel like. More patient. I'm way more patient now.
Patience is key, especially with the 3 young ones.
Oh, it is so key. Yeah. Kind of circling back to, you asked me a little bit about, a lot about Nikai and his epilepsy and all this. So, and how yoga's kind of helped me with that. So I was like,
tell us more about that.
Diving or deep into this like world of trying to figure out what was going on with him. And I was like, so I took that time away from practice. Came back to teaching, diving into it in a different way, just maybe a little more compassionate to people. And then all of a sudden, and we had only planned to have 2 kids. That was it. And especially with Nikai having epilepsy, like, this is it. We have a medically complex kid. I should say he's doing great, by the way, but medically complex kid at the time. And I find out I'm pregnant. I'm like, what is this, the Immaculate Conception? Like, how did this even happen? We were so stressed out in that time of life. Like, there is no way.
Another one, adding more stress to it.
Oh my gosh. And my husband was so confident that I wasn't going to be pregnant that he like took our daughter out and bought a pregnancy test. They were like out running there. Like, oh my God. He was so confident. And then it was positive. We're just like, oh my God. Okay, so how does this look? And I was so sad too, because I was just like finally back in like the fighting form shape I wanted to be in. My teaching was progressing. I was teaching quite a few classes on the schedule, and then that. And I was so sad. I cried every day for like the entire pregnancy. I'm like, how are we going to do this? But I practiced up until I was 39 weeks.
Even longer this time.
Even longer. And I taught until I was 38 weeks and practiced the day before I gave birth. And then, you know what? It all fell into place. And he's like this perfect person. And like having another child in the mix kind of like recentered everything. So with the medical stuff, and you just kind of have like, okay, I got 3 personalities to manage. I can't fall apart for this one. Like I got to stay strong. And then I decided like I just need to become the most physically and mentally strong version of myself I can be, because now I've got like these 3 kids. Yeah.
Do you think if you were as practiced in yoga before you had your daughter, that the postpartum wouldn't have been there as much?
I think it would have helped for sure if I had been practicing more like prior, for sure. Like yoga definitely helps with that. But no, I had been practicing, like I said, but not to the extent I do now.
Now you got 3 and you're practicing full time. And how long were you off from teaching after you had your son?
3 weeks.
Okay, so
I was like itching to get back, and they say 6 weeks is like your downtime, but everybody's so different. And I was like pretty lucky, easy births, easy recovery. I was like, oh no, I need a break. I'll go back to work.
So your son would have been around like 6 months when I first started practicing, so then maybe a little younger.
Yeah, maybe a little bit younger. And
I never would have known that you were fresh off of pregnancy.
No, I actually hated being pregnant so much that I just like pretended, even though it wasn't that hard for me, I just pretended I wasn't, and then I just like rolled with it. I'm like, okay, now I got this baby. So that was really hard. I'd be like up all night nursing all night, and then I would teach a 6 a.m. class. So you're up at 4 to be at the studio. For me, I like to get up extra early. You're at the studio for 5:30. And I would do that on 0 sleep because I knew at that time. So when I started first teaching 6 a.m. classes, that was like a new thing. It didn't exist at the place I work. They're like, oh, we've tried it before and it didn't work. Nobody came. I was like, well, I really want to try this. And so we started off with just 2 classes. I taught one, a different girl taught the other. And then people kept coming. And then it turned into I was teaching 3 classes after the birth, 3 6 a.m. classes after the birth of my middle son. So I'd be like nursing all night, then go to teach these. And I was like drained. I was so tired. But I would just do it because I'm like, I really want to put this time in and get better and like eventually do more things with yoga. But I know I need to put the time in now with practice and teaching and whatever so I can build up my skills. And then I had my other son, and I ended up scaling back one of the 6 a.m. classes because it was just like too much to be up all night. Somebody's always sick and like
somebody's always awake.
And I wasn't sleeping ever. And like I do have a very supportive, amazing husband, but like the moms always get up. Let's be real. The kids want the moms. And now I teach a variety of classes and I'm sleeping a little bit more.
Yeah. How do you manage the yoga, work, life, kids balance?
How do I manage that? Well, I'm a stay-at-home mom. I work when they're asleep. So I do teach the 6 a.m. classes by choice. And I knew that if I didn't want to work in the hair salon, I needed to make, I still needed to make some money. So I needed to make a schedule that was going to work around my husband's schedule. So I go teach in the morning and then I do my own stuff, like for my own personal practice or workout or whatever before that. So at like 4. And then I come home, we do the swap. My husband goes to work at 7:30. I work all day, and then sometimes I teach an evening class, so 5:30 or 7 o'clock in the nighttime. And we swap. Like both my parents still work full time. My sisters have kids of their own, so my husband's family's overseas. We just really have each other for help. So.
How do you balance the we time for you and your husband?
It's challenging for sure, but we have such a strong friendship, a strong relationship. I feel like now we're stronger than ever. Like we stopped comparing who does what more, and we're like, okay, well, we're a team, and this is how it works. We don't have like a lot of, I guess, date nights or whatever you can say, but we hang out all the time. We're in the thick of like, we just want to be with our family. They're growing so fast. So we like to make family memories and we don't have a lot of date nights, but you can make time for each other, little snippets throughout the day. Like you don't have to have that specific thing.
Those small moments, they start to add up.
They do add up. Yeah.
Is he a good communicator?
He is getting better.
I asked that because I know I'm so busy all the time. And with my wife, I wasn't the best communicator. And I've really worked on it. And now it's to the point where if I'm having a busy day and she's texting back and forth and I'm like, hey, I'm super busy. And my texting is pretty shit, but it's like very short to the point.
Oh, so are you mad at me?
Yeah, but so she knows now that I'm like, hey, I can't talk about this right now. And she doesn't take offense to it. Whereas before, because I wouldn't communicate after the fact, that it was be a little bit trying.
Yeah.
So I know that. Got to work on that communication. And the couples that I see that are the strongest are the ones that communicate. Yeah,
that it's so essential. Like you have to, and it is a work in progress. Like you have to. Yeah.
Work at it every day. Every day.
Yeah, every day. And he's gotten so much better in the last couple of years. And also because I think he's had to kind of sink or swim with learning to parent by himself when I'm at work with 3 very little kids. He's just like, okay, this is how it is all day. It is hard.
It's busy.
It is busy. Yeah. So yeah.
I know when my sons were young, I worked away in camp a lot.
Okay.
So I'd be gone for 4 to 5 weeks, and I'd be supposed to be back for 2 weeks, and I'd be only back for like 3 days. So
my gosh.
Missed out on a lot of those skills, and I didn't really start to develop them until after my ex and I split up.
Oh, okay.
Because I was just gone so much, and it's like working out or going to doing yoga. If you don't have the reps and you don't have the opportunity to learn those things, it was sink or swim after that point.
Yeah. But then you don't know what you don't know. So you're just like learning as you go. And I know you're a badass dad now. Like I know you are.
I say that I don't spoil them. I think sometimes I do spoil them a little bit.
You work hard. You can spoil them a little if you want.
Thank you. I tell that to Janelle. Like it's I want my parents worked to have the things that I didn't have.
Yes.
And then I want to work to have so my kids can have the things they don't have or I didn't have, and then hopefully those skills and morals are instilled into them, and then they can do the same for their kids and so on.
Exactly.
Just making better humans along the way.
Exactly. We're all just about, like, in our family, the most valuable currency for us is time. So how do we spend the most time together? I think I made this like Instagram post a while back that you commented on. I just want to live a slow life. That's my goal. I love the slow life. I hate the hustle. I hate the grind. So like you asked me, how do we balance? It's actually not that hard because we're lucky that one person is at home with the kids. I love a slow morning, if you can. And again, I'm very lucky. I don't take that for granted at all. But like you have to cut corners where you can. We rent out our basement. We don't drive new cars. Like we cut corners where it doesn't really matter to us as much, like for the material things, in order to have more time as a family together, because that is like so important to us.
You spoke about the morning there. Do you have a morning routine, ritualistic, that you follow for
the family
or for yourself?
Oh, for myself?
Yeah.
Like I pretty much get up every day, either between 4:30 and 5, sometimes at 4, depending on what we have going on in the day. And I just like unroll my mat. I have coffee, unroll the mat. It's pretty much in the same order every day. And then I kind of decide what I'm going to do. And then typically my middle son is already waking up by now. So I put on his show. He has a latte. We're Italian, so it's okay for kids to drink coffee.
Caffeinated?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
A little bit of coffee, a lot of steamed milk, and a little bit of coffee cream, like a flavored one.
I love it.
Growing up, we had lattes all the time.
Okay.
Maybe that's why I'm the tallest member of my family at 5'5". I don't know.
Yeah, they say caffeine can stunt your growth a little bit.
Yeah, so he has his latte, and he watches his show about dinosaurs, and I do my thing, and then, either I have to go to work, and then, I make sure my husband's awake, or at least knows my middle guy's awake, and if I don't have to go to work, if it's school, you do all the school things, and if it's not, I'm pretty unstructured.
Okay.
It's like free play, and then we figure out what we're going to do for the day, and I'm like, we're getting outside till lunchtime. That is all I care about.
Go burn some energy.
Burn some energy, yeah. So no, it's not like my routine, yes, a little bit structured, but I'm very unstructured.
What does your day and your mental health feel and be like if you miss that morning ritual?
Squirrely. I'm mental. I am like beside myself. I'm like trying to talk to me is like, point A, point B, point Z, point this. I can't get my thoughts together. And then I feel like very ragey.
Okay.
I'm sure you know that feeling. If you haven't moved your body, you just like want to punch a wall.
I have to move.
Yeah, you have to get that energy out. I'm just like a 5-year-old. Like you got to get the energy out. And then I'll like focus on that all day. I'm like, oh, I still need to do this. I need to do this. And then I'm like, Malachi, that's my husband. I just can't get on top of anything in the house. And he's like, okay, but I think you tried to do yoga for like 2 hours, like intermittently, like just whatever.
Just go do your thing.
Go do your thing. And I find and the rest of like our life, our house kind of goes to shit if I don't get it done because I just like focus on getting that. Like, oh, who cares if it's messy? Who cares what's for dinner?
I think as you have the first, the second, and I never had the third, but as you had the third, I saw a meme and it was like the first child, you've got like the little blanket down when you're changing them, and then the second one that's not there, but then the third one's eating French fries from underneath the seat in the vehicle, right? You're like, the other kids didn't die, you'll be fine.
You'll be just fine.
So it's okay kids make messes, kids break eggs and dump toys, and you have to be able to look past that because it's not always going to be perfectly put together. And in my life, I'm so fucking unorganized. Me too. My desk at work is just covered in papers and Post-its.
But you probably know exactly where everything is.
I know where it is. And actually, that's become it still is a point of contention with Janelle So I'll come home and I will put something down and it's not where it's supposed to go. And then it'll be an hour later, a day later, and I go to that spot. And I was like, fuck, I swear I put that there. And I'm looking everywhere except where it's supposed to go. And I'm like, hey, Janelle, can you help me look for this? And she's like, you're just like your kids. Like, you can't find anything. And I'm like, where is it? And she's like, she walks downstairs. She's like, keys are in the key bowl. She's like, I'm like, oh, why would they be there? And like, I put them on the counters. Yeah. I go to look where my brain remembers them.
But not where they're supposed to go. Yeah, so I fully get that. Like, why would it be there?
Yeah, I know where the things are in my disorganized mind, but to me, it's my version of organized where she is, everything is in her place.
And that's why you're together, right? Always. Opposites attract.
Two pieces of a puzzle.
Yeah.
As you know, I have ADD, and then I went on medication, and we didn't know what to expect. And her expectation was that it would make me organized like her. And then it's been almost a year now, I think, 10 months, I don't know. But then she realized that, yes, I am more organized and able to focus my thoughts more. But her being that organized isn't a normal thing. That's just part of her personality. That's how she needs to live her life. And I am more organized than I was, but will never be at her level. So she learned to accept that is just kind of how I am.
You kind of meet in the middle, probably.
Yeah. So she brings balance to me. She's the one that's like, you need to take a step back because you're going to burn out. And when you're so close to it, you never notice that, right?
Yeah.
And if you hit that level of burnout and then you're fucked, it takes so long to recover. She's like, so I was supposed to do a race tomorrow and then in the morning, and then I have a wedding in the afternoon. And my back's been out. I haven't ran for a month, and I was just gonna pop some medication and some pills and go and tough it out. And then I told her about the race last week. She's like, you didn't tell me about that. I'm like, oh no, I did. It's in the calendar. And she says, you can't do that. You have to step back. Your back's out. You're gonna go struggle through this, come home, rip, shower, and then go to the wedding. Like, it's gonna be such a hectic day. You need to take tomorrow for yourself. And I was like,
oh, you're right, and I don't want to admit it.
You're my subconscious that's telling me to slow down, and she brings that balance. I need that in my life. Otherwise, I'm just go and never stop.
Yeah, well, I mean, that you were going to run across the Sahara Desert. You might still do that. Like, you are insanity. In the best way.
I need to. I say moving forward. It's not just a physical thing, but I've realized in the last. It's recently, maybe the last 2 months. I'm not happy if I'm not progressing in something. And I had a guest on the other day, and he brought up a lesson that he had learned is once you're satisfied with something, it's not going to give you anything anymore. So as soon as you're satisfied with something, you need to kind of find something else. So but if you're not progressing in that thing anymore, like you're kind of like, what's the point?
Okay.
So you kind of like hit that plateau. And that resonated with me because I'm like, if I'm not having growth in something, it's not serving me, right? So I have to, if I'm not progressing in things, that's when I start to like dip in the mental health.
Then you feel stagnant. So I wonder for you then, to bring it back to yoga, my favorite topic. So there's a word, santosha. Okay. It means contentment. And it doesn't just mean like be content, be happy, but it's being okay with where you are right now without necessarily having to worry so much about like where you're going or what you just did, but just like existing without attachment to anything else, but just like existing. Everything will happen as it does, as it should, and just like allowing yourself to just be.
I'm definitely not that.
Well, you could be.
With practice,
I could work on it.
Learn to maybe at least for an hour be that.
And it doesn't mean you have to stop having these big goals, but maybe it's okay to just be like,
it's okay to be where you are.
It's okay to be where you are. Be where your feet are. You know, enjoy, you've worked so hard for all these things and you're propelling forward constantly. Are you going to stop and enjoy it just for a minute and breathe? Just have a breath.
I do take some vacations.
Okay, when?
I was in Bali.
Okay, yes, but you did content, you did racing.
Yeah.
Like, you're not chilling. You're not going on vacation.
That wasn't a vacation.
No,
it might have been in a tropical place and it was beautiful. Yes. But it was not a vacation. I think the last one would have been Janelle and I went to Hawaii.
Where you turn your phone off. You don't film for content. You just just be. You read a book.
We went to the Kootenays for my birthday.
Okay, and you had to unplug. She comes to my classes, so she told me about this.
Yeah, there's little to no service.
That's probably so good for you.
Hiked up a glacier. We were in a cabin in the woods, and so Janelle made this bingo card for the year, and it's all things she hasn't done. And
I love that.
The kids did it as well. It's not my thing, so I didn't do one, but one of her things was to go in a helicopter. And as we were driving into Nelson, there's a big billboard. It's like, oh, helicopter tours. Like, oh, cool, helicopter tours.
Yeah.
And that didn't say anything else. And then I got up early the next day and I booked one for that night.
Oh,
and we
surprised her.
I did. And we went to this huge hike and we got back and she's just zonked. She falls asleep on the couch. And then I knew how far it was to the airport, and I wake her up and she's like, oh, groggy. She's like, what? I'm like, we got to go right now. She's like, no, like, we're on vacation. We don't have to. I'm like, no, we have 15 minutes to get where we need to go. And then we're driving there and she's grumpy. Obviously she just woke up and she's grumbling. I'm like, you're going to like this. Like, you need to just trust me.
Yeah. When
I tell you we need to go, we need to go. And we're driving and then she sees a helicopter. She's like, oh, cool, there's a helicopter over there. And we're driving, we turn down this road and it's towards the airport. And I see her looking around and I see it kind of starting to click. And she's like, no. And she looks at me and I just smile and nod. She's like, we're going on a fucking helicopter? And I was like, we're going to do that. And she's like, not even my birthday. It's your birthday today. And I was like, well, this is something you wanted to do. And I've been in helicopters hundreds of times from work. So she sat in the front. She's like, want to sit in the front? I'm like, no, like, this is your experience. I will sit in the back. And she loved every minute. So it was
awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, what a great surprise. What a thoughtful guy you are.
So I was content during that time. Yeah. But I definitely am with my personality. People ask, like, what's enough? Whether it's at the gym, whether it's financial, money. It's personal growth, and for me, it's like it's never enough.
Okay, why?
I like to. I think I like to create.
Okay.
Like, so with working in business and stuff, the happiest I was with that was when it was the smallest, and and there was problems every day, and there's things to solve, and you're building. I think that's why I like making content so much. Is it's always something new. It's being creative. So maybe it's not so much. It's never enough, but I need to be working on something
to feel really like successful, or to feel almost like satisfied.
Satisfied would be the word. I don't strive for success,
but satisfied in your own life. Yeah,
to me, that's what fills my cup the most is being creative. I think is what.
Okay.
It is. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a little more than or. Not as in a negative aspect. As
so a little more than just staying busy. Like it's not just about being busy and doing this and trying to reach the top of whatever the ladder is. Because like once you get to the top, then what?
Yeah.
But it's just you like to explore these passion projects. I think where I kind of decided like I just want to live this really slow life. Is my husband grew up in a very tiny island, remote nation, Vanuatu. It's by Fiji. For those,
I was going to say,
it's by Fiji. They actually had Survivor there like a long time ago. When he was a kid, he grew up there. His mother still lives there, and we decided we were going to take the kids there at Christmas last year, and we're actually going to go back again this year. We're like, okay, well, let's take 3 kids across the globe to this tiny remote destination. They hadn't been yet because COVID closed the borders, and with the health stuff with my kid, we were like, should we bring him there? Like, we just don't know. It's very it is a third world country.
Yeah, very remote.
Very remote. So we go there and I do vibrate pretty high. So although I like to like say I live this like chill, slow life, I vibrate high. And we got there and it is slow. Everything about it is slow. You might go to the store, maybe it's open, maybe it's not.
Island time. They call
Island time to the extreme. And his mom's like, you need to just relax. Things will happen when they do. And we were there for just over 3 weeks, and it was so good for the kids to see, like, without that rush of like having to do all the things like they were thriving, and just like for Malachi and myself, of course, you're living in dream world. It's holiday time. He's not at work. I'm not at work. But like just to have that like slow connection, culture, family's really important. Like having meals together as family. I mean, that's really important to me anyway, but just living that really slow pace. And then you come back to the hustle bustle and it's like, what are we doing wrong here? Why do we live this way? Like this grind, and most people barely see their family because they're working or the 2 parents have to work. And it's just like, for what?
I know there was other studies done. I read a lot, but they say the happiest people on the planet are from places like that.
Vanuatu has been voted multiple times happiest country on earth, and it is like a lot of people don't have anything.
You don't need the material things to be happy.
No, you don't. And like often with all the material things comes just like clutter in your brain. The more things you have, the more like you don't need it. If you get rid of it, you're like creating the space for all the good things to come.
Yeah, when the only worries you have are like, okay, I need to go fish today, or I need to go hunt, I need to go to the store and buy, milk or whatever it is, and I come back and we're gonna have time together, and because we are tribal, right? You're supposed to have communication. You're supposed to have connection. But when you are work, that like guys in New York, like high finance, and it's the suicide rate is high and the stress rate is high, and it's
for what?
For what?
For what? All these fancy things, and like, you know, I say this, oh, I'm not stressed out, this and that, but it's just because we don't prioritize the fancy things. And if you do, that's totally okay. Like that might make some people happy, but does it though? Like, does it really at the end of the day?
As a mother of 3 and living this slower life, what advice would you say to other moms out there to help them lead that slower life?
Cut out what you don't need. Kid doesn't need all the toys, doesn't need all the fancy clothes, and you got to figure out what's important to you. Truly, like, what is important to you? Our kids also aren't in a million activities, because to us, the cost and also the time commitment is not worth it for us to be split up into a million different directions at all times. For some families, that's worth it for them, and that's great. That's no shade to them. But for us, we're like, no, as they're little, like, we want to be together. So scale back in areas that you can, so that you can create more time, because that is the only thing.
It's the only currency that really matters.
That is the only currency that matters. And I think my middle guy having, you know, epilepsy is all connected. That is what made me realize time is the only currency that matters, because you don't know how much you get.
Can't bank it. You can't save it. You can only spend it.
You can only spend it. Honestly, my husband can be a bit of a workaholic because he's such a provider. He takes such good care of us. And
shout out.
Yeah, shout out to Milk Guy Hunt, making my slow dreams come true. Truly, I couldn't live my life without him. Like, he's the backbone of our family. But also, like, he has learned to slow down too. And he's one of those people too, who's like, okay, what's next? Like, oh, now I got this raise, I made this salary. What's next? And I want to do this. I'm like, well, why? None of this ever makes you happy. And he's always more. And now he's like, you're right. Like, I just want to kick back, hang out with you guys, you know, go. He's made us start camping. Go camping. I'm like, okay.
That's the slow life.
It's something. I didn't grow up camping, so this is like a new world. And like, you know, he wants to ride his mountain bike, so like finding time to do that. And you know, so he's learning, okay, maybe I don't need, you know, this.
You've already achieved the goals that you said would make you happy.
Yes.
But you're not. Yeah. So
and then what?
Yeah. Were you happy when you were trying to achieve that goal?
Yeah.
Is it like the struggle was helping you make you happy? Because once you hit that goal, like I said, you know, one is enough.
Yeah. Then what's next?
You need that next one. So you need to have something in your life, whether it's practicing yoga, whether it's being content with what you have and where you are. If you're not happy in that goal is not going to change anything. Sure, you make more money, and they say money doesn't buy happiness, but it can sure make it a lot fucking easier.
It greases the wheels.
Yeah, if you're not worried about having to pay the mortgage or anything, it's just one less stress. And if you have less stress, you know, by theory, you should be happier. But you hit that point, and it's like, well, I'm not happy in this. So like, where do you find that? How do you extract that from what you do have and what you're doing? Or what can you add to make that happiness come?
Well, most people don't figure it out. They think that external factors are going to make them happy. And then you get all these things or whatever, and you're like, well, like you said, but you got to figure out what it is that makes your heart sing. You know, for you, I feel like you get into your flow state with this sort of creative thing. And does time even exist for you here? Probably not.
No, it just, like I was saying before, like, we could be here for hours.
And you wouldn't know.
Yeah, we're at over an hour now, and it just
goes fast, right? That's your flow state. You know, when time doesn't exist, and maybe for somebody that's gardening, maybe for somebody that's running, for yoga, whatever it is, but you get into that zone where you're like, it just doesn't exist. And I think if you can figure out what it is that, you know, makes you feel that way, then you're going to find some sort of happiness.
I think right now, bringing back to what was the word for content? Everything
Santosha.
Santosha. This is my santosha.
This is your santosha. See, you're not worried about like what's happening later today. You're just like content being here.
Yeah.
Look at you. Yeah. I'm so proud. You're a yogi.
I'm doing yoga right now.
But you are though. You know what? And that's one thing people should know. If you are starting a yoga practice, it doesn't have to be all or nothing. It doesn't even have to be physical. If you are just sitting and taking a moment for yourself and like connecting to yourself and like, that is yoga. It's all yoga. Anytime you're like just connected, aware, intentional, you know, you could be washing the dishes and your brain is turned off. Maybe that's your meditation.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be an all or nothing.
I know when I was practicing quite regularly, 2, 3, 4 times a week, did it for like almost a year straight.
Yeah.
But I didn't have that like centered feeling until I was there for probably 6 or 7 months. And
And
I remember the first time, and it's just, everything just finally like tuned out. I was like,
Like, this is what people talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, often you start for the physical practice, right? That's what brings so many people to the yoga mat. They want to get flexible. They want to heal an injury. They want to do a handstand, whatever. And so whatever brings you to your mat, that's great. Who cares what it is? And then, you start practicing and you're like, oh, okay, you're going through the motions. Then, like you just said, all of a sudden you're just like, I'm solving all my problems and I don't understand how. But like movement is medicine, and it unlocks all the energetic pathways for your brain to just like, I don't know, do what it needs.
Yeah. Where do you see yourself in a couple of years as your kids get older with your practice?
My teaching and stuff. So I'm doing a few like special events coming up here. I'm doing one of the yogas in the park, which I'm so excited about. And then I'm doing one event at Pravado, Vinyasa in the Vineyard, which I'm also very excited about. I definitely one day want to get into retreats. I feel like I need a little bit more to offer. Like, so I want to do some more trainings. It just hasn't been something that can happen with having 3 young kids, like taking off for a couple weeks. I just want to get a little bit more training. Retreats is something I definitely want to get into. The yoga world on YouTube is so saturated, but I don't exist there yet. So I want to start making some videos for people because I've had a lot of people who, I've lived in Kamloops my whole life. I know a lot of people who are like, I moved to Alberta or whatever. I would love to try your class. How do I do that? And so, yes, YouTube is super saturated, but I know when I'm scrolling on there, I'm like, I have a specific style I want to practice, and I can't find that on there. And I think I just bring something valuable to the table. And, the cool thing about like teaching yoga is there's no roof on it. You can do anything with it. If you believe in yourself. So for me, yes, I want to make some content. I eventually want to do some retreats. I would love to do them in Vanuatu, but that is such a far destination for people here to travel.
For sure.
So it would have to probably be targeted to people in the Pacific. But figure that out, get some more knowledge, and I know when my kids are all in school, probably teach a little bit more. You're not ever going to make a lot of money teaching in studios. It's that you're not paid well for that, especially if you're like putting in lots of time into your planning and your playlist. I put so much time into my playlist. Music is
the best,
right?
Nicole, what is that song?
Thank you. Oh, it's my love language. But like, honestly, are you a music guy? Love music? Music can make or break your experience. And if you're in a class and you're like, okay, like I try to organize the BPMs as you should in a class, like from low, going up and then decrescendo, and then, adding or getting into the cool down in your Shavasana to something really chill, mellow. Yeah, your music can make or break. So I spend a lot of time doing my playlist, and on Sunday I have a hip hop flow class, and we do like a fun hip hop playlist. So you can spend like, let's say 5 hours planning a yoga class, maybe even more. And then you go in, you teach, and you're there for half an hour before and after. So you're there 2 hours. So 7-8 hours, and you're making, X amount of dollars. So you're never going to make a lot of money teaching yoga when you break it down. It's a passion project. So again, shout out to my husband, because I would have to like work a lot more. I think maybe that's why I'm passionate, is because I am part-time. And so when I get to go, I'm like, yes, I get to go to work. Yeah. I love to go to work.
I love that you brought up YouTube, and, it's so oversaturated for yoga and stuff. But I know from working with my own content and brand, and I'm starting to see kind of YouTube a little bit differently, and the channels and the content that I watch that really stand out, it's not so much, say I'm watching someone that does yoga, it's not so much about the yoga, because I can watch any YouTube video and I could probably find that exact same sequence of poses somewhere else. Yeah. But it's how do you connect with that person? And that's what you probably have going for you.
Thank you, Kayla.
More than a lot of the other people that are on there. It's who is Nicole? And I think if you were to go fully into that, the spin on it would be, hey, I'm Nicole. I got 3 kids. They're under 6. Like, here's a bit of my life in the morning. This is hectic. If you're a mom out there and this is something that's going on with you, you still can find the time, and I'm going to help you. So they start to connect with you and like, hey, Nicole has 3 kids, and you talk about your son and his health struggles, and then you talk about your youngest, who we didn't touch on. I think we need a whole podcast to touch on him.
He's insane.
And he's wild, and he's getting into things, and he's adventurous, and you're trying to keep him safe.
Yes.
But this is Nicole, and she has a real life outside of this, and people see that, and they're like, I want to learn from her.
Thanks, Caleb. I think people do connect to that, because I'm not like I always call myself the unorthodox yoga teacher because I'm not like very dreamy and, no shade to anybody who does the yoga voice, but I'm just like, I'm Nicole teaching yoga. I'm going to make a lot of mistakes. I'm going to say the right and left mixed up every single time I say it. But I'm going to see you as a person and I'm going to know, about you and then we practice together. And I just, that's the best part of it is like connecting in the community of it. And I think that's why people keep coming back.
Yeah. You spoke about taking more certifications out of me. So like,
there's just like a million trainings out there. And there's none that really come to BC that I want to do. I would love to do a training in Vancouver even because it's close. There's some good ones in Seattle, but there's just so many great, amazing teachers out there who I would love to learn from. There's some awesome local ones too, but there hasn't been a lot of workshops and stuff offered.
I wanted to touch on that because you spoke about things to offer.
Yeah.
And from practicing with you, and you want to do, destined retreat kind of things.
One day, that's the goal. Yeah, retreats.
And I think you might be selling yourself a little bit short because anyone can have these certificates, and then you just see a name. Okay, Nicole, and these are what I have taken, and this is what I can and practice. And people can read that, and it looks all the same.
Yeah.
But if you had like a YouTube thing going, and like, hey, that's the mom who is awake for 18 hours a day and still finds time, and she's still bubbly and she's energetic, and I've watched her classes that she puts on YouTube, and they're fun and they're in there, and she's helpful. People want to come to do yoga with you, not so much people want to come to the retreat to do whatever the yoga is, because anyone can teach that. It's who is the person that is doing that teaching, and that's where the droves of people would come to a retreat. It's who the person is.
Thanks, Caleb. That's so sweet. That is so sweet. No, I'm blushing. Thank you for that. I mean, but there's just so much knowledge I want to learn, and you just like are craving to learn more. I've only ever done 200 hours of training. I mean, I've done thousands of hours teaching and thousands on my mat personally, but
it's not to say that it's not the avenue to go to get more, but it's,
you can have all the training.
You could have someone that has 10,000 hours of training and everything, but they're a dry mop and they have no personality, and it's, okay, now we're going to do this, and it doesn't pull you into the moment, and you're not excited to do that.
That's
but
true.
I know, like I've went to, probably 10 different yoga instructors, and a couple of them I hated it. I was like, I don't like yoga, and then I went to yours, and I was like, I'm like, this is what I was seeking.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Finding your teacher, finding your practice. Yeah.
Because when it comes to YouTube and then for selling a retreat and stuff, it's you would be the front facing it. Yeah. You're the brand. Anyone can teach yoga, but it's like, who is Nicole? And if they can connect with you.
Yeah, it's so true. It's so true. I always you get this imposter syndrome. Like, why me? Why would I be good at this? And I get that so often. I've said this so many times, I'm just a stay-at-home mom, and I just teach yoga part-time, or I'm just this. And it's like, no, like I work really hard on my craft, and I work really hard to be a really good mom, and I work really hard to like make a good experience for my students. Like I want them to leave feeling better than they came. I'm always trying to learn, but then you get that in your head, like, why me? Like, why would I be good at this? And
I think a lot of people go through that. And
I think so.
I loathe the expression, I'm just this, or I'm just doing this. Yeah. So, bringing up racing. Oh, there's a race this weekend. And it's like, there's a 5, there's a 10, there's a 25. What are you doing? Oh, I'm just doing the 5s. No. You're not
doing a 5.
You're doing a 5. You're not just doing it. The amount of people that run on the planet is so small. And then it's even smaller, the people that are doing a race. So like, you train for that 5. Be happy, be excited about that. You're not just a stay-at-home mom. The skills and the energy and the patience that it takes to be a stay-at-home mom, it's fucking crazy.
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't do it. I couldn't. I have a lot of buddies, and their wives are at home more often, and they're like, oh man, I would love to just be able to hang out with the kids, and like I could sit and play video games.
I know.
Like, no, you fucking couldn't.
You can't. Not even for 5 minutes.
Yeah, like if you're sitting and playing video games, it means you're ignoring them.
Yeah.
Maybe they're young enough that they have a nap still or something like that, but during that time, you're picking up, you're getting dinner ready, or maybe you're like, fuck, I can sleep for 30 minutes and they'll wake me up when they're up, right? So it's not, you're never just something. That's just, you got to be, like you said, with content. It's like you're more than I'm going to say just, but you're more than just that. You're a wonderful human being, and what you're doing is great. And yeah, I'm like that term just.
Yeah, you're right. Just is not a good. It's
one.
not a good thing.
Yeah.
And I mean, with the yoga stuff too, I think I even told you this earlier today. I kind of like, I don't care about changing the world. I'm probably not going to ever change the world, but I might hopefully improve the lives a little bit of people who come in contact with me, whether it's like physically or maybe they just like leave feeling seen or heard or like valued. And then they in turn are going to go out into their little world. So like you cast your stone and you create all these little ripples. So, just hoping to leave people better than when I found them,
I like that.
Yeah.
Do you have a plan for moving forward with like doing YouTube and stuff? You thought about that?
Well, I have thought about that. I just need to carve out time to actually do it. And I'm like, okay, where in my house can I film this? Whoopsies. Where is it cute? I'm a hand talker. Like I said, I'm part Italian.
That's good.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, our sun deck is actually beautiful. So I need to like get up even extra early and just like hammer it out. I just need to do it. And I've been talking about it for so long. I have so many like the class plans I want to record written down. And I'm not much of a writer. I just memorize everything. Like for my sequencing, I'm just like memorize it all. But yeah, I just got to do it.
Find the time.
Yeah, and one of my students, he's so lovely, been practicing with me for a couple years. He even gave me like really good microphones to borrow. He's like, okay, I believe in you. Borrow my mics. Get this done. I'm like, okay.
Audio is everything.
That's what he told me too. He's like, better than the video, it's the audio. You need to do this. I'm like, okay.
Because if you're watching a video and it's shit video, but there's great audio, you'll keep watching it. But if there's shit audio and it's great video, people will pass.
Yeah. That's what he told me. So I'm like, okay, perfect. I'll borrow these. So I've now had these microphones for a year, I think. So thank you to him. So I just need to do it.
I found for me, it works better. Instead of trying to do like a small thing every day, it's you carve out like one day where you could hammer like 6 hours.
I like that.
So something for you, maybe kids go to your mom's house for 4 hours and then you would film 4 classes.
Yeah.
And you just change outfits in
I
between.
love that. Yeah.
And no one's going to know. You do your hair a little differently or whatever. You got it up for one, down for another. And then in one day, if you're going to do one a week, you've just done a month's worth.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you don't have to like find that 4 different times to do it. That makes sense.
And when you have it carved out, I've had so many times where, okay, we're just going to do an hour and then something happens. And then instead of doing it at 5, now it's 8 p.m.
And you're tired.
And you're not going to have your best performance at that point.
Yeah.
You spoke earlier, like, thanks so much for doing this Saturday morning. I was like, no, I love to film at this time. This is the best time for me.
You're firing on all cylinders.
Exactly. Usually it's like 5 or 6 at night and I've already worked all day and I'm up at 4:30 in the morning. So by the time we start going, I've been up for 13 hours. But today, I slept and it was great. I got up at 6:15.
Oh my God. That's like midday for you.
Oh, I only had like 5 hours every night. Been burning that candle at both ends. So I got to sleep in and I came in here and we had some technology issues. We got those sorted out. Started a
learning
little
curve.
Later. I think there's a big opportunity for you with that.
I think so. So just like keep an eye out. I'm going to be famous. No, that's not the goal. Being famous is not the goal.
The people you can start like a YouTube thing and your goal is to make money.
Yeah.
But the ones that tend to succeed the most are the ones that put out the value. If the value is there, the people will come.
Yeah.
And then if the people come, then the sponsorship and the monetization comes. But if you start off just with your goal to monetize and the value shit, you're never going to get there. So if you're putting out things that people pull value from, they're going to come back and come back, and then it's going to grow and grow, and then who knows, right? Then there's big opportunity out there, and I'm excited. I'm excited to see what's to come. Yeah. What's your plan to get it done then?
What's my plan?
You know what you have to do. How are you going to make that happen?
Okay, that's a great question. So we have my mother-in-law coming to stay with us for about a month, 3 weeks to a month, next Friday. So that's an opportunity for some built-in childcare too. So I can carve out some time. I said July. I told myself in July I'm going to do this. I'm going to make 4. I'm going to commit to 4. Let's say that. I'm going to say that here. 4 videos. And then I guess, I'll probably have to get my husband to help me edit them because I'm like technology challenged. And then go from there.
Have you thought about doing like some like more daily vlog kind of stuff, and then that will build up your personal brand for? I
haven't thought about that, but I bet you, like, sometimes I make little stories on my Instagram and people always love it because it's like real life momming and like I'm, just we're not aesthetic. We are like just living, and people are always laughing like, oh, I feel like I'm not alone in this now. Connect
with you then.
Yeah, and people always comment, and I love that. And when I was like first had my third son, I would always make my stories on Instagram, like almost every day. I feel like it connected me to the outside world. You know, you're like in that bubble at home and you feel like you're all alone and you're sinking, and then you do whatever. That's one of the good things about social media, right? Is it does kind of connect us, and people would message and, oh yeah, this
The
is
social part of it.
The social part of it. Yeah. And our kids are pretty funny. Like they're characters. And like, you know,
I've seen them. I can
you can attest.
to this.
And like my husband and I were just like high strung but low key, if that makes sense. Like certain things have to be a certain way, but for the most part, they're free range kids. Like, you know, they're throwing clothes at the fan that's on the other day. My mom's over. She's like, are they allowed to be emptying out all the drawers, throwing the clothes at the fan? And then the clothes whip around. I'm like, oh, they're going to do it anyway. So like, why do I care? I'll just put the clothes back.
They're not throwing the forks up there.
No, well, the baby probably like throwing a knife at the fan.
Where did you get that knife? I was knocked away.
Oh my God, he's insane. But I'm just like, yeah, no, whatever, right? And we let them be kids and we let them have fun, and it's real life stuff. Like, you know, we're camping. I'm making my little vlog again. My husband's like setting everything up as I watch, because, and then, you know, you hold the pole and pretend you're helping. But I feel like every woman does that here. I'll just pretend I'm helping over here while you do everything, because you already have a plan in your mind of what you're going to do.
And he's not, I feel like he's kind of like me in the sense, like he's got that plan. He's probably not going to deviate.
No, he does not deviate. He is very rigid. I don't want to say in a bad way, but he is very methodical, very rigid. He is creative, sort of, but like things have to be a certain way. And sometimes I don't know what that way is. And like, I don't think that way. So I'm like, oh, this doesn't make sense to me. And like for me to tell him like, oh, I want to do this YouTube, this and that. He's like, well, how much money is that going to make? I'm like, I don't know, probably nothing.
That's the provider mindset kind of thing, right?
Yeah. But now he's just like, okay, he believes in me blindly. He's like, you do what you're going to do. Like when I told him I was going to be a yoga teacher, he's like, okay, so you want to take your hobby and you want to teach yoga and you want to make like $50 every 2 hours. I'm like, yeah, exactly.
But fills your cup. It's
fills
like,
my cup.
Sure you're happier that you, like, as much as that is going to your job, it's still...
Oh, it's not. It's I love going. If they did not if they didn't pay me, which like please still pay me, I would still go pay me more. I would still go, because it's like I love every single
It's me
minute.
time for you.
Yeah.
And then I know, like for me, besides work, I don't have a lot of social.
No, zero right now.
Like it's so for me, going to work is my social.
100%. 100%.
So you go and you're with your students and you know what their lives and they're excited to tell you things, and that's
I love it.
It's kind of like when we were younger, like going out to the bar. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like that same kind of feeling, that
camaraderie.
Yeah.
You feel like you're part of something. Totally. And most of them have busy lives too. So like that little connection point is important to them too, you know, especially if they are parents or working 2 jobs or a student in a job or whatever, right? Everybody's busy. So
I want to talk more about the YouTube, because I'm super curious about this. Have you done much kind of speaking to the camera at all?
Literally twice, maybe.
Okay.
So no, this is going to be totally new. Outside, I'm trying to do more things outside my comfort zone, because I've realized I'm really good at doing things within my comfort zone that I'm already good at, and not so great at like stepping outside. Like even coming onto a podcast, I'm like, oh, what am I doing here? Like I don't even know. For example,
you're doing great, by the way.
Oh, thanks. That's because I like to talk. Thank you. Well, you're very good at interviewing. This year, so I've been working at the same yoga studio for 5 years. And then in the fall, I started working just 1 class a week at a different studio, both in town, both amazing places. And to teach people that I didn't teach on the regular, for me, that felt scary, because like I always do the same thing at the same place. You know, it's different all the time, but like the same people, or you know, like, oh, it's like a whole new world. But it's so good to get outside your comfort zone and like learn how to do things in a better way or whatever, right? You're just like doing things that's scary, and it is as simple as teaching a yoga class, but you're public speaking, you're moving your body, you're trying to hold space for people, you're trying to do a good job. Like ultimately everybody wants people to like their class, but not everybody's going to like your class, but like you're trying your best.
I think the majority of the people probably like your class.
I would say one person, definitely. I've got one person who hated it.
It's not for everyone.
No, it's not for everybody, but then you learn to grow really thick skin and you realize maybe I'm not the teacher for you, but there is a teacher for you out there, and that's okay. You can't be everybody's teacher. That'd be exhausting.
Yeah, you can't help everyone, but it's the people that you are helping, you want to make sure they get the best value
that they have a great time, like, you know, that they have a good experience.
They want to come back?
Yeah, so they want to come back and all the things. So just trying to, so the YouTube thing, step outside my comfort zone, maybe just do something different.
Take your phone every day, flip the camera around so you're on selfie mode.
Yeah.
one take, just say something like, oh man, the kids are extra crazy today. And then you turn back like, look, they're throwing clothes into it, and then just speak to it. And the first time is you hear your own voice when it plays back and you think you sound stupid and you stumble over the words, but you do that 3 times a day.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what you're saying. You're just getting used to being on it. So you do it 3 times a day. And then over the course of the month, say you do an extra one here, there's 100. And then after 2 months, there's 200. And it's every time you get on, it just gets easier and it flows better and you don't have to think about it.
Yeah.
And you're getting used to being on the camera. And then when you go to be on the camera, this is a little bit different setting as we know each other. But when it's just you and you're being filmed and you're trying to explain your yoga practice and you're explaining the series of poses as you're doing them, it will feel more natural, because what you want to try and emulate on your YouTube is how you run
my class, like
class.
The feeling in the class,
Yeah.
right? Like, how do you do that to a camera? Yeah, you want to capture that energy.
Practice. It's repetition, repetition. I'll show you after the very first video that we did with me speaking, and I fucking hated it, and it's dog shit, but I'd never been on camera before, and I'm like, oh yeah, and I'm like standing like, why are you so stiff? I'm like, I'm just trying to have proper posture so I don't look like I'm slouching. Like, no one does that. Like, you just have to be yourself. And it took, I don't know, I've done hundreds, if not thousands of hours of filming and stuff now. And now it's super natural. It kind of
practice.
Yeah.
Funny how that happens, hey? Practice.
Keep doing something enough times, you should improve at it.
You should. And if you don't, maybe bail and try something different.
So I want to see you start posting just on your Instagram.
Okay.
Doesn't matter. Like, hey, everyone, I'm up at 4:30. It's my usual day. I'm having my coffee. I'm rolling out my mat. How's your day starting today? Just super simple.
Okay.
And then you just start documenting that, and then that brings people in. It connects them with you, and then you're like, I'm going to start doing a YouTube. We're going to start filming it in 2 weeks. I'm going to help show you guys sort of the process. Just it's because it's so much more than just that one video.
Just the idea of the video. Yeah.
People, and I tell this to Janelle, and she's starting to get better at that with her candles.
Yeah.
Is your candle is your product, but people aren't buying the candle. They're buying you. You're the face of it. They want to see the process. They want to see that you quit your job at the hospital because it was so stressful, and you love candles and you love healthy things. At her candles, they don't have parabens, are called.
Yeah,
like
sulfates and parabens.
Yeah. So like your typical tea light candle that you buy at Winners or Walmart or wherever it is, it's just full of chemicals. So you're just polluting your whole house. Hers have none of that. And she's like, couldn't find them anywhere. She's like, well, I'm going to fucking make them myself. Yeah. And then she went through the process. Like, people want to see that. They want to see how you got to that point. They want to connect with you. They want to know the energy that you're pouring into that. So for you, like,
the chaos of the kids.
Like, look at what her life is like, and you just document that just on your stories. And if you want, you can save a couple of them that you felt you spoke better, and then you can review them after, and you see what you did wrong or you did right. And it's like some of mine, it's just me like outside the gym walking in, and I'm like, hey.
I love your stories. I watch every single one.
Or I'm driving and I'm having an energy drink and popping a Zyn in.
Because that's like you, though. That's like
exactly.
you.
That's someone's like, and they were kind of playing off the name of the podcast, You Should Quit. Like, what's with all the Zyns, man? Like, you should quit. And I was like, oh, I see what you did there. And I'm like, for me, the nicotine, before I got on medications, it is a stimulant, and it did help my ADD like crazy. Same with, that's why, as I'm drinking 2 energy drinks right now, my caffeine intake before I was on medication probably was unhealthy range, like 1,500 milligrams a day. So coffee, energy drink.
And you didn't feel like you were going to have a heart attack?
From that, no.
And were you anxious? It's a lot of caffeine.
So I have a weird kind of relationship with like anxiety. Getting deep here. With the era I grew up in, with young men, you push everything down. You don't talk about your feelings. I've only just started talking probably the last year or two about like feelings with Janelle. We've been together 8 years now. Yeah. And when it came to anxiety, I would feel things and I'm like, no, I'm fine. And I was just like, you have to figure it out. So I wouldn't allow it to happen. Like, I don't get excited about things. We talked about like being content and being present. Yeah. I'm very present in the fact that if something's happening tomorrow, for me, I almost can't even like imagine that. It's so far away for me. So we go on vacation, and it's a week out, and Janelle's packing, and she's all excited, and she's like, when are you gonna pack it? Oh, I'll do it the morning of, or I'll do it the night before. I'll make sure I have my passport, because there's so many things going on up until that point. And a kind of analogy that I came up with is, say you're hiking a mountain and you want to get to that peak, and all you're thinking about is that peak, and it's a 3-hour hike, and it's 18 degrees out, there's a little bit of clouds, the sun peeks through sometimes, and it's beautiful out, it's a perfect temperature for hiking, and all you're thinking about is that peak, and you get to that peak and you have that view, and that view is great, but you didn't notice on the walk up that a doe and her 2 fawns that were born the night before stumbled across, and you didn't see the beehive and the bees going to the flowers, or the wind came through that one field and how it rippled. It looked like an ocean going across. So if you're just focused on that one thing at the end, whether it's a goal, whether it's the vacation coming up, you're going to miss everything in between that. So that's where I try and like right now I'm here with you. I'm not thinking about anything else. I have other shit to do today. Yeah. It's written down because otherwise I won't remember what it is. But it's, so back to anxiety, that's kind of how it was with that too, is like I'd feel it, but I wouldn't let it affect me. And then
you pushed it to the side. Exactly. Maybe it was affecting you in different ways, but you weren't like acknowledging it.
And it got to the point, and it was 5 years ago. I didn't realize at the time, so I thought I was having a heart attack. Yeah. And I was like thump, 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 thump. And it was like 150 sitting in my truck. And I'm like, fuck. And I drove to the hospital. I'm like, I think I'm having a heart attack. Yeah. So they get me in there. They hook me up. They're monitoring. The heart rate's still really high. And then it starts to go down as I'm calming down. And then I realized it, I don't know, a month or so later. I went down some rabbit hole and I'm reading about it. And I was like, fuck, I had an anxiety attack. Yeah. And I
had no idea.
Yeah, but I didn't deal with anything. And I do stress well now. I didn't for years with pushing it down. Yeah. And I get insomnia when I'm stressed, and I didn't know that was happening. So it came about, I got in a car accident, a couple of them, but one of them, leading up to it, not the car accident, but the court date, I had to go in for discovery, speak to lawyers, and I didn't sleep for like a month. Oh my God. Maybe like 2 hours a night. And then the day before I was supposed to go to Vancouver for it, the lawyer calls, like, yeah, they called it off. We're not doing it. And then slept like a baby.
So you stressed that entire time.
But not even realizing that I was stressed. And when I'm super stressed, it hasn't happened in a long time, and Janelle noticed this, I sleepwalk.
Oh, okay.
So I would wake up, and it's the same thing every time. I think there's bugs falling down onto the bed. So I grab the blankets, I throw them over top of Janelle to protect her, and I run out of the bedroom, turn the lights on, I run down the hallway, turn all the lights on, and then she wakes up because I don't walk quietly, thump, 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 and I'm at the end of the hallway. She's like, hey, you gotta wake up, and then I'm like, where the fuck am I? I don't know how I got there, and that comes about when I'm having all this stress and not dealing with it.
Yeah, so it comes out. It's always gonna come out.
It builds and builds, and then it's like that volcano and like the shaking up pop bottle and it erupts. Yeah. So we went from anxiety to stress, but anxiety comes with stress.
Hand in hand.
But with all the caffeine, no, I wasn't overly heart thumping.
You just were giving yourself a heart attack.
Yeah, I mean, sure, the caffeine at that point didn't help, but it was the anxiety attack that happened, and I don't know where I was going with that, but I like that I told that story.
I like that you told that too. Thank you for sharing. That is that's important, and I think all men of our generation do the same thing, you know, and you are like this German shepherd of a husband, provider, protector, you know, you've seen that before, right? There's the golden retriever husband who's like goofy and laughy and silly. Yeah. So there's like the golden retriever husband, goofy, laughy, silly, you know, life of the party, which you are too, I'm sure. But you're also, there's the German shepherd husband. That's my husband. The protector, the provider, they are stoic, they are steadfast, they're going to get shit done, and you know you're safe. So
that's me for sure.
That's you for sure. Yeah. Right.
So you scratch my head and then I kind of get off.
But you take it all on, and then you don't want to feel what you're feeling, or maybe you just don't realize it. Yeah. So yeah.
Well, I know that you have other commitments. I got a question to ask. So
you bet.
Imagine here we got a little portal opens up. Okay. And it is probably one of the lower points in your life. You've got the postpartum, or maybe it's when you were stressing about epilepsy. But you can look back and there's Nicole from a few years ago. What would you say to her right now if you had the opportunity?
I would say everything's going to be just fine, and you're doing a really good job. You know, because you're always thinking, I'm not doing a good job. But you're doing a great job, and it will all turn out as it's supposed to. So stop worrying so much. I don't know. I was always worried about everything, but yeah, it's all going to be just fine, because it always is, right? Even if it isn't, it is. Yeah. No way out but through.
That's right. Yeah, the obstacle is the way. You can't change the things that happen to you, just how you react. And if you can react strongly and build off of that, you become this
resilient.
Yeah, the strong person that you are now.
Yeah. Caleb, this has been such a great morning. Thank you so much.
I got one more question though.
Yeah.
We'll do it quick.
Yeah, hit me.
Other side.
Okay.
Different little portal opens up.
Okay.
And instead, it is Nicole 10 years from now.
Okay.
What would you ask her?
How did you do it? No, I would say, how does it feel to have achieved some big things? Mm-hmm. You did it. And what else would I ask her? How did you start? Did you start by this interview? This was the catalyst now for me to kick things into motion, because I never pictured myself sitting on a podcast. Like, one thing I always say to my kids, as you know, one of the affirmations is, your voice is important. What you have to say matters. I tell that to my kids all the time, but then to myself, I'm like, oh, well, what if what I have to say doesn't really matter? But my voice is important. What I have to say matters. So maybe I would say to myself, was it the interview with Caleb that kind of kicked you into doing what you're doing now? Maybe that's what I would ask.
That's great.
Her.
No, I love that. And I know before you're like, I think you may have been stressing, but like, I don't know if I have a story, like I don't know what to talk about. And then we're here and it comes out and you have went through some struggles with your family and with your postpartum and your health. And some people are going to watch this and there's going to be some moms at home who are maybe going through it right now or have gone through that. And they're like, I did that. She did that. I'm going through this. She did that. I can do that.
Yeah.
Bring value to that. And know that they're not alone.
They're not alone. You're not alone. There's so many moms who are probably struggling with postpartum anxiety, postpartum depression. It is way more talked about now, but you're not alone. And you can always talk to me. I love to talk.
Speaking of talking to you, how do people find you?
How do people find me?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not like super out there yet, but I am on Instagram, Nicole M. Hunt. I post like some yoga stuff. I post some kids stuff.
You're posting some more speaking videos?
I've been posting some speaking videos. That's like pretty much it right now. I'm starting to do some like private yoga stuff. So if you want to hit me up for that, I'm your girl. I love to talk yoga and
we'll throw that in the show notes. And everyone out there listening, watching, thank you so much. I really appreciate you. I'm just trying to put out some great conversations. I'm super curious about everyone I speak with. I hope you enjoyed it here with Nicole. Hit that like button, subscribe, follow, all that shit. Send it to your friends. Give it a watch. And thank you again. And Nicole, this was awesome.
Thank you for everything, Caleb. So much fun.